Please don't spam. This for sure will have people leave my channel. I feel like this is, I don't know how to stop this. Let me tweet that I'm live for top 8. Damn, Hale with 3 regional finals, actually. 1 with a win. Pretty good for Hale. Live for top 8. This is a cool top 8. There's a lot of really good decks here. What's up, B? I can't stay for all of Cut, unfortunately. I'm going to be doing top 8 and then dipping because I feel like because there's 2 Snorlax stalls, Cut's going to drag. And my parents would like to leave for the airport at like 7:30. So I got to go shower and stuff too. But welcome on in. We're going to do a little bit of action for a little bit, and then yeah, that's kind of the TLDR with Snorlax stall up against Palkia, which I think is Snorlax stall favored quite a bit, but we see Hale's got a little bit of an interesting build, playing stuff like Pidgeot EX in his deck. Joey needing Ice Rider quite a bit in this matchup, but I know he plays a 2-1 line. At least we've already seen Joey on stream. I'm doing pretty good, B. Life is good, can't complain. Going to be leaving in a little bit to head to India, but today we're going to just kind of break down this top 8 match as we can. Just kind of see Snorlax stall versus Palkia, I guess. No real way to get rid of energies from Hale's side, but if Hale can stick something in the active, he has Mawile to keep it there forever. He has Snorlax to keep it there forever with cross switchers. And we also have access to stuff like Mimikyu, which will make Joey's life a little bit annoying because both Palkia, Ice Rider, Chen Pao, all the attackers basically besides Greninja can't really deal with it. It is a long flight. It's we're going through London, so it's like 6.5 to London, and then I think 10 from London. What's up, Maria? Are you surprised to see Snorlax style doing so well after lackluster showing at Stuttgart? I think each region has its own individual metagame, and Europe has typically been a region that plays a lot of Mew and Stall. So we saw the overcorrection from Gdansk to Stuttgart, where a lot of people overcorrected their metagame share and played to beat those decks. And that's kind of like the Europe effect, I guess. And in NA, we hadn't had a regionals yet. And Snorlax stall has kind of been like the deck with free matchups. So it's only natural to see a deck that has like theoretically free matchups pop up. But the more tournaments it does well at, the less likelihood of it continuing to do better will exist. And you can see that like people like Hale have very unique takes on this list. I am streaming on both YouTube as well. I kind of figured out how to do multi-streams. I'm trying to see how this actually works. I don't stream a bunch, but yeah, I knew my notifications would make people leave my server. Lamau. What's up, Cash? Nice to see you. I do have a Discord server if you guys want to interact with the community. It is in one of the descriptions below. I don't know whichever one you're watching in, but I think Europe always has their own unique metagame as well. But I do think there's only 2 NA regionals, I think. Yeah, I think there's only 2 because it's this one, and then there's Portland. Oh no, Charlotte too, I guess. Yeah. Let me get you the link for that, Cash. Let me get a Discord link. Let me know if this works, by the way. I'm posting from Restream or whatever. Yeah, Portland showing this. Yeah. Math adds up. Sorry, my bad. I forgot about Portland. Is the Pocket Vista host online? Not yet. The tournament is still going, but I think that it will be up as soon as the tournament's over. I assume all these players will tweet it out and it'll be up as soon as possible. Yeah, each region has their own metagame, and Europe has typically been known for having players who stick to only playing stall. Alessandro, Sander. So these players are something that's like somewhat of a factor for these European players when they go into tournament. Um, More often than not, like these players are already like preparing to deal with like these individuals playing these individual decks versus something in NA you have Azul's group who last year played um only played Kyogre for a little bit, and then you have my group who played Lugia and Reggie quite a bit. So like you could metagame for those players, but also our regionals are significantly sizable compared to European regionals. But I guess Liverpool is huge this year. Like it's like 1,600 seats right this year, which is like way more than last year ever was. Also, let me know if that link I sent worked from someone. I don't know. I'm using restream.io and I don't actually stream very often. So this is very new to me. Putting Mimikyu down seems pretty good. Cool. Wonderful. There's two Tinas in this top 8, so these two Tinas should have a pretty good time, I think, given this bracket. But also Tina is one of those few decks that just might not win games because Tina is Tina. And we're going to road him. Looks like Hale is looking aggressively for that Pidgeot that is in his prizes. He might play a 201. I wish I could be going to Liverpool this year, actually. I went last year and it was a lot of fun for me. And I wanted to go this year as well, but it does fall on the same weekend as One Piece Nationals. So I am going there instead because I do have a 2-round bye for One Piece. And that is something that's pretty relevant. If this Snorlax, I guess rotation should be April, I think. Should be in tandem with EUIC. Getting to Liverpool is pretty annoying, but yeah. Like, I think the Japan release is also synced up with us. I don't know if necessarily getting Tomb here is the greatest idea because you're basically getting stuck here. But what's up, Nick? Can I just fly to Liverpool? It's way more expensive. Last year, what I did, Benji, was I flew from Dulles to Iceland to Reykjavik, and then I had a layover in Reykjavik to Manchester, and then Manchester to I took a train, and then if I had gone this year, I think flights were pretty reasonable, and I would have done something through. I would have done something similar where I would have flown. I think I would have flown through Copenhagen this year if I went. But this year, unfortunately, it's One Piece Nats, so I'm going to Los Angeles, which is actually unironically like a very similar distance of flight. Like how crazy it is that I fly for 6 hours, and I'm in the same country. To you Europeans, like I'm blowing your mind right now. Like I literally can fly for 6 hours and I'm in the same country from Dulles to Los Angeles. Yeah, One Piece is the same. It's like One Piece, Battle Spirits, Digimon, Dragon Ball, I think, are all in the same venue. And they're calling it like Bandai Super Card Fest or whatever. And there's gonna be like a ton of people. Like each game is having like 2,500 people, so I don't really understand how we're gonna fit everybody into this venue. But it's gonna be an adventure for you and me to figure it out. Misa's coming. That's awesome. Oh wait, I'm not going to Worlds. I'm just going to Nats. Sorry. Worlds, on the other hand, is in Japan. Nats is its own individual thing, and then Worlds will be in Japan, but only one player qualifies from each region, except for NA. We get 2. Oh yeah, I was watching the card festival. That's why I stayed up way too late, Cash. I was watching The Singaporean guys, actually, a lot of them have been reaching out to me. They're like really good players from One Piece because they want to play Pokemon now too. So it's kind of crazy because I guess like they've realized that like in One Piece there's not that much money to be made. I have the top two U.S. Nats, which is like 2,500 people, man. So it's going to be a very difficult road for me to make it. Reiju winning was cool. What are we doing here? Oh, Penny? Okay, cool. Joey, no! Why are we reading this? Did you see the One Piece studio news? Yes, I did. Actually, I'm very excited. Um, just get her a switcher right here. Um, I'm very excited for it because while the pacing actually like there's like a couple of cutscenes or whatever, but actually early pacing of like East Blue into like all those things is like not that complicated. Um, the like animation is really goofy looking, and so people don't really want to like watch goofy looking animation because they're just haters. So if they fix the goofy looking animation, then it kind of carries us into like the early part of the format, early part of the metagame for One Piece, and then once you can get through to like Water 7, I think everyone usually gets hooked at Water 7. Like Water 7 is kind of the point where everyone is all in to um all in One Piece. Hey, what's up, Evan? Nice to see you. I'm just gonna do top 8, by the way, guys, and then I'm gonna head out just because there's two Snorlax still in bracket, and I don't feel like they're gonna finish. Water 7 and Easel are peak. Yep, yeah. Water 7 usually hooks a lot of people because water like okay. So I'm rewatching right now. Like I'm doing a full rewatch because I haven't like watched it start to finish in a long time. And like I was thinking about the Dressrosa arc recently and Zoe, and I was like, dude, I don't even remember what happens. Because Nico was like, I asked Nico if he would do it with me, and he literally was like, I'm retired. I'm not doing this with you. And I was like, okay. Like Nico does not like the game right now. He also has a 10-page paper due tomorrow. Um, Alabasta is the first part where everyone sees like the I guess like reality of the universe, like what's actually at stake, how bad some of these bad guys are, all that good stuff. You meet Crocodile, who is like one of the big bads. That's quite a big bad, honestly. Um, and then it pivots to you from meeting these guys into Skypiea, which a lot of people don't think is very relevant, but I think Skypiea is very good as an arc. Um, there's like a lot of subtle stuff that make it really good. Um, Eventually, I'll get. I mean, I don't remember much of Whole Cake, to be honest. That's why I'm like doing my rewatch. But I am currently sitting in. Who just messaged me? I'm currently sitting in. Um, I'm currently sitting in. I just finished Saboti, and I just like I forgot how unbelievably good those like 40 episodes of Saboti are. Like it just really gets you hype because there's just so much that happens in so little of a time. Like you meet the worst generation, you meet all these characters that become impactful later on. You get a lot of information dumped on you very quickly, um, and it leads up to one of the best arcs. Um, yeah, Fishman fucking sucks. Fishman Island is like unbelievably terrible, so I just like am not excited to get to that part. But I guess it is very pivotal to the end game story. Um, so you kind of have to have it in there somewhere. It's just the pacing is like the tone of it is just so different. You're like, okay, that's ridiculous. What is this tone? Um, but I am doing Dortmund. I did book Dortmund for regionals for Pokemon, so I am coming to that one. I'm flying to Dusseldorf, um, with a uh, layover through what am I thinking? Through Copenhagen. I have a 6 hour layover in Copenhagen, or like 6 hours 50 minutes, And I asked Jesper what I should be doing, and he told me I should like take a train to city center. It's like 10 minutes away, and basically I can just go and explore for a little bit because it's like not that long. Um, Super odd. Get rid of super odd. Getting rid of canceling clone is also really funny because now Mimikyu is like really really hard, strong right now. Okay, I'm gonna respond to some of these messages because I have a lot going on my phone right now. Tyler 1 is having a kid. Good God, man. Tyler 1 and Dantes should not be allowed to reproduce. Tyler 2. Tyler 1's like redemption arc is something. Dantes is like actually terrifying. Like every time I tune into a Dantes stream, his like 30 seconds in, he's like, yeah. So when like my balls are strapped to a chastity belt, and I'm like, okay, man, like why are we here? Also, like, can we talk about the fact that Joey has found 6 water energy without having to play a supporter card, which is incredibly like impactful. However, in this individual scenario, Hale knows the contents of Joey's hand, so Joey has left himself opened up to a countercatcher play here, because if Hale is tracking all the cards in Joey's hand, he should know that besides one new card, that you can now bring up the Spirit Tomb, stick it in the active, um, and get rid of that Super Rod, meaning that 6 energies are represented on this board. Um, and you're putting yourself in. Why are we just getting DTEs? What is happening, man? Oh, do we want to do 0 damage? Is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to do 0 damage to the Spirit Tomb? Keep in mind now that 15 minutes have elapsed off of the clock. We're going to start with an MF Sisters, I'm pretty sure here. That's probably the correct play. Let's see the top 5. A lot of items in this deck. 1, 2, 3. I see a switch. I see a switcher and a VIP. I would just get rid of the VIP anyway. I guess no. I guess you know that Joey's hand is like pretty dead. So you want him to top deck this VIP. But getting rid of a switch and a switcher is huge because I think Joey plays a switch, 4 switcher, and a rope potentially. They're all ear to searchable. So you want to go ahead and put Joey in a spot that's really uncomfortable. Losing both vacuums is really impactful because those tools like the Bravery Charm or the Defiance Vest are going to be very impactful. And Cross Switcher being where it is, or not Cross Switcher, Canceling Cologne being as impactful as against Mimikyu is also very relevant here. We see the 4, 5. I would just take out the Super Rod every single time here. Another water energy. Oh my god. What makes Stall viable is that there's not that many decks that can afford to play switching cards anymore. So decks like Snorlax or decks like Charizard, that's very impactful. Um, Decks like Charizard that are very impactful and powerful in the meta don't have a great way to um, deal with the fact that um, what am I trying to say? They don't have a great way to deal with moving out of the active because they need to keep all their power cards. Rapid Strike and Talion, a very other powerful deck, can't really do it. Mew is one of the few decks that can because Mew can just judge path or whatever. And so any deck that can deal with Stall realistically, either you just win absurdly quickly against Stall, or you have no out. Like Joey is putting a bunch of energies onto his board, creating a board state in which he can take some prizes and make a play somewhere. But now with 4 countercatcher coming back into the metagame, Stall can do multiple things in one turn. Like they can penny something and countercatcher in the same turn, and Snorlax making it so nothing can retreat is actually very impactful as well. So these like combination of small things does add up pretty quickly, and Hale is just pitching away at the hand, taking out every single item card that exists for Joey. An escape rope. Okay. Yeah, but its matchup in like something like Tina or most Lost Box decks is absurdly bad. Um, one, two, three, four. So it's like 140, I think. We're gonna see another penny here probably. Yeah, it's just basically super polarizing matchups across the board. And Hale's version of Stall is a little bit unique compared to the other versions, I think, because other versions don't typically play these cards. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna turn off B. I think I'm gonna turn off in Me6. I'm gonna turn off my alert for Twitch stream because I don't Twitch stream very often, so I'm just gonna turn off that going live thing. How do I do that though? I gotta figure that out. I think I did it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't stream on Twitch necessarily as much, so I would like more people to come through on YouTube anyway. So if you guys are watching on Twitch, I don't typically be on Twitch that often, so YouTube is where I have like most of my content. It's where I spend most of my days. I would appreciate if you guys come through there more often than not. I think it'll be a lot more fun on my YouTube channel. You have two prizes here we can take off of the Qian Pao discarding 5 energy cards. Um, but 5 energy cards being discarded also means that V-Star ability from Palkia only puts 3 back into play. And Super Rod is already gone, so Joey's going to take 2 prize cards here. No more water energies remaining in the deck. Hale now can try to stick something in the active just because you know that Joey doesn't have that much energy to work with anymore. You have 1 Super Rod gone. You have Palkia V-Star's ability. And then you have, that's pretty much it. Like after that, Joey's just going to be relying on Melanie's to attack and set up this Palkia. So we can quick search here, get another piece up and running. Now if Joey wants to take out a Snorlax or something, it's going to require 3 energy cards. And if there's a tool on it, even 4, which is just really, really hard to do. And I think that Hale's Luxray has done more than enough work. Like, it has done an absurd amount of damage in this situation, getting rid of 2 vacuums, a canceling Cologne, a Super Rod, Cross Switcher. Like, you have eliminated a lot of pieces that otherwise wouldn't be there. Mimikyu's going to come into the active, which makes it hard for Hale for Joy to take any prize cards. A V guard attaching the active. Silene to put back some cards. Double heads. All right. Bazinga. Palpad's probably the first one. That's a freebie. I don't know if I would put back more supporters. I would probably put back like Bravery Charm or something, just because Bravery Charm could impact the course of this game. But besides those two, I don't really think there's a reasonable thing to grab. If I'm Joey, I don't think there's like necessarily a win con here. It's just a pass. We're gonna just go ahead and see the MF Sisters hit and play. Hale, if you're Hale, you have no reason to speed up here. Joey is clearly in it for the long haul. Hale does not win 3 games ever, but Joey can cheese a 1-game victory just by Hale having a suboptimal start. So there is a chance that the game could end in Hale's favor. We're going to see another switch hit the discard and a vessel. Oh man, that's got to be rough to be Joey here. You've now lost 2 switches, 2 vacuums. Like the sisters are hitting, man. Like when the sisters start hitting, this is when it starts getting rough to be in Joey's situation. 1 card hand to work with, not much going on. Pass. Okay, that's not 1. That's multiple cards. Draw for turn. Escape rope. You got to rope back into the hand. But what do you even rope? Like, do you rope and then Hale just gives you Snorlax, and then whatever you rope into just can't move? Like, it's a bad situation either way. Like some would say that was a misfortune, sisters. Like that was an unfortunate situation to be in. Like if you rope and Hale gives you Snorlax, like we're both back at this. Like we're back at start, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, I'm not feeling the best at math right now, so I'm gonna let Joey do the math for me. If I'm Hale, I think I don't bench anything else. No, maybe I guess you can put one more Snorlax down. I think it's fine. 1-5-2-2, losing the win off a DPL, but played T and I kept hearing my friends play Snorlax. I couldn't find one. There wasn't a lot of Snorlax. If it makes you feel better for us, there was only like it wasn't. It didn't even make the matchup percentage chart. I think we're gonna see a knockout here. Hale has been holding on to these cards, man. There's some counter catchers he has been holding on to like they are the most important thing to him in the world. Like, I feel like at some point, counter catching. Now you've seen 2 ropes, 2 switches, 2 cross switcher. Something's got to happen. Lax probably had I don't even think so. I feel like a lot of Laxes actually got like knocked out in day 1. Because Lax isn't necessarily that good of a deck. It's just it comes down to the pilot. Do you think people start playing more Rapid Strike counters to day 2 success or continue to have its amazing conversion rate? I think that some people have been playing. I saw some lists on Twitter already of people playing Charizard with Tool Jammer and stuff of that nature to have better Urshifu and Teleon matchups. So yeah, like I think it's like generally much easier for decks to do something like that, and like I think decks like Block Lax, like there's 3 in the top 16, which is actually a pretty impactful number. Like there is something to be said that 3 Block Lax made top 16. So I think maybe going into Portland, people will respect that a little bit more, which is kind of what happened in Europe, right? We saw Block Lax win a tournament. Things changed a little bit. So yeah, there's like a little bit of things that need to change, whatever, right? But not too much. People are posting their lists now on Twitter. If you guys want to go check those out, I don't really know what's gonna happen. So, is Zard that good that people play if there are so many bad decks? So I think Zard. The biggest thing with Zard is like you don't need a lot of maintenance, so you can basically just go Candy Zard like 2 times, and like most decks in the format have a very difficult time dealing with that. Like most decks can't really deal with it. What is Hale doing, man? We're just gonna attack here, I guess. What's up, JR? I appreciate you, Cash. You're awesome. I feel like Robin should just ask you for help to work backwards and add all this stuff. Like I would also help like quite a bit with it if we want to get like all the legacy decks for every tournament that's ever existed onto Limitless. Like I'm sure there's a world where we can like dig deep enough into like the past, like work back year by year and get every single tournament that's existed and put them all onto Limitless, because I think that'd be a really cool place to have one database. I know PTCG Legends is doing something like that or trying their best to get everything. So between PTCG Legends and Limitless, I feel like both resources should be leading into each other to have those pieces. And I would love to like see something that like that's that cool, you know? Like it would be honestly one of the cooler things to watch. I mean, we just Mawile lock the Mew, right? Like counter catcher Mew, lock. What's up, Patrick? Oh, we're just gonna pass this way. I don't know. I feel like it was already time to start locking. I feel like it was time to start locking, but Joey's taking. I feel like Joey has lost this game. I just don't know how you come. Okay, and Irida's pretty good here. The problem with Irida is that you can't get 2 pieces at once. And there's a very clear win con with this Pidgeot on the board. Can we remove this Pidgeot from the board? Does Hale play a Turo? I don't know. Like let me pull up PTCG Legends on my other monitor real quick. PTCG Legends. Where does the tournament start? Right, like the event archive has worlds all the way through. It has every single worlds, and then you go to major events, and they have nationals, and like Super Trainer showdowns and those kinds of stuff, which is really cool. But regionals, I feel like just don't exist. Like if we go to 2015, 2016, yeah, they're just not there. 2014, 2015, yeah, just not there. But there are decks from old eras. So I think there's a world where we can like gather community resources to try to work backwards, because the more we go into the future, it's going to be more and more difficult to find those resources. Like more of these players who used to play the game won't like have those pictures, won't have those memories anymore. Like maybe old message board websites and stuff start getting wiped down. I know like X-Files has like a um I think Hale is getting a warning for picking a card, shuffling, and then looking into his deck again. Which is, once the shuffle does begin, your search is over. So if you are making a decision, don't start shuffling, even if it is like a nervous habit. Um, yeah, just don't do that. It's like just something to like note. 30 minutes have now elapsed. Joey does have a win con. Basically, the next couple turns, he needs to top deck. Like, I don't know if Hale has a way to remove this Pidgey off the board. That's what I'm concerned with. Like, do we have a way to remove... Whoa, what the... What is happening? Maybe a pace of play thing? Maybe asking him to play faster? Oh! Joey is so close. Retrieval? Oh, that's interesting. I guess you can retrieval here and attach as well. Put an energy onto the board. I mean, if I'm Joey, you just you just flood the board with energies. No, like you just put. He has both cross switcher in deck, so there is a very reasonable win con here. Like what I would do if I'm Joey now is just go. Is Pocket V-Star only water types? I'm gonna have to. It's been a very long time since this card's been relevant. Yeah, so you just attach 3 from... Okay, so you just go V-Star, put 3 energy onto Chen Pao, Retrieval, put an energy onto Mew. Why are we doing this? This one doesn't... Okay, I guess you don't have the V-Star right away either. There's no Ace Rolla in format. Why are we concerned about damaging this guy? Cheryl. I guess it's just like a Cheryl angle. Maybe Hale was hoping. Maybe Hale was just hoping that there was no second V-Star and just trying to put pressure. So we're just trying to take out this guy, I guess, here. Just be proactive and try to close out the game, I guess, here. What is actually with Vacuum plus Ninja double snipe? Vacuums are both gone, Alex. He's taking prizes. So what is he doing? Melanie here? The game is like winnable on this turn, by the way, for Joey. He just needs to hit... No, Joey wins. Right? Or am I bugging? Are we 1 energy short? Wait, is that a retrieval or energy search? What are we doing, man? How much HP does Pidgeot have right now? Too much? Wait, Bravery Charm doesn't work on... The basic Pokemon. Yeah, Joey has win, right? If that's an energy retrieval in hand, he has game. Right? Like, am I bugging? Charm only works on basics. Pidgeot has 280 HP. Joey just needs to take 2 prizes to win the game. He has energy retrieval in hand. Or is that energy switch? Is that an energy switch or a retrieval? I can't tell because both the golds are very similar. Okay, thanks, Leon. Man, I got really excited for a second. I was like, we've just won the game. We're the best. Turns out we're not the best. I feel like Hale should have been way more aggressive with the MF sisters, man. Like there were so many turns where Hale just left this Mimikyu in the active and just didn't do anything. So I feel like he should have been doing something with those turns. Like we were like pussyfooting around basically. And now we're in a position where Hale thinks he's run Joey out of resources, which might be true, right? Like 3, 4. Okay, we're one short, I guess. Yeah, because there's no retrieval anymore. Man, what are you holding these counter catches for? Next game or what? Like, what is this guy holding these counter catchers for? It's happening. We're counter catching. Bring up the Palkia. Okay. I don't know if I like that, just because now Cross Switcher can win the game. Eliminating for Melanie. Tomb. Can't do that, buddy. Can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. Thank God he stopped himself. I think this game is like probably Joey's because Hale can't ever go back into the Luxray because he's going to be looking to Luxray and try to pop something. But if he ever goes into Luxray, the risk and the threat of Qian Pao just existing is really scary. So we're going to MF Sisters here. You have to hit a Cross Switcher here. You have to hit a Cross Switcher here to win this game. I see both. I see both Cross Switcher. And there's a Cross Switcher. That should honestly be the game. Yeah. Joey had so many turns he could have actually found it. I don't think his deck is that... I think he has like 12 cards. So I think Joey actually like had a realistic chance of winning that game. Like a pretty realistic chance of winning that game actually. Just because of finding all those pieces. So I think as soon as he knew that Hale wasn't gonna like I don't think Hale could have just produced a Luxray back out of nowhere. I think I would have taken the gamble that Hale can't just make another Luxray, and I would have just eared it a turn ahead or something to grab a piece, maybe. But getting rid of 2 vacuums early, it looks like it's energy switch, I think is the card. Yeah. If he saves the 1 energy there, I think he just wins too, because he was 1 energy short the entire game, right? Like, did he have it in this turn? Whoa, okay, man. Let me a little bit further back. So we see this part of the replay. Let's go to the next part of the replay. Let's see his hand. Come on. Yeah, he had it. He had the energy switch. Yeah. So if Leon's completely correct. If Joey ends up moving the energy preemptively off the energy, just making sure that Palkia's energy doesn't get wasted, the game actually ends up coming down to came down to one energy card. Like the entire game came down to a singular energy card, and I think that Joey just didn't anticipate that it would come that close. Because he had multiple turns, he could have actually basically pulled off the combo towards the end of the game, because Hale just couldn't chain together a way to keep things in the active. Opening luxury for Hale, not ideal, but he's just gonna let it rip. I'm pretty sure that opening hand does not look amazing. I see a heavy ball, and I think heavy ball will get him Pidgey, but also it doesn't do a hell of a lot in this situation. Yeah, I don't think there's a search card in that hand. I think I see a Boss's Orders, MF Sisters. Is that a Super Rod as the final card potentially? Super Rod, DTE, Heavy Ball, Bravery Charm. So that hand is pretty bad. Hale's hand is bad. We're gonna go ahead and see the Palkia bench. Just attach to Chan Pao. Let's put that pressure on, baby. Pass it over. Bailed out. Top deck Arven. Stall always wins. The bad guys always win. Unironically, Hale's like version of Stall could probably take games just because Hale's version is like really aggressive. Let me go look at stats live, see if there's any update on the rest of our games. I have the stream muted. I just don't have it in my ears right now because the headset hurts my ears a little bit. I need to get a new one. What just happened? Yo, does anyone know what just happened? Did he just pick up his deck for some reason? I mean, I guess if you are playing Block Lax, almost all your games are probably going to time. So we've been sitting here. He's probably been playing like 800 minutes of Pokemon compared to Joey, whose games have not been going that far. We're just gonna get set up, get the ball rolling, get some cards cooking, let it rip, get some cards out of Joey's hand. I guess there's no penalty there, just because even though the deck was being shuffled by Hale, that he was gonna play Arvid anyway. So like, I guess he's illegally randomizing his deck once again, but no knowledge is being gained regardless. And if he's playing a card that impacts the top of the deck or whatever, it doesn't change that math. So I think it's a fine warning. Keep moving. But that's Hale's second warning on stream for something, so he's got to be very careful about that. Player on the Greninja, smart. Wrote him for 3. Yep, seems fine to me. One switcher. Yeah, thank God they stop him. What happens if usually after like one judge warning, typically, I think they will escalate it immediately. So like whatever situation happens the second time gets escalated. But I think on stream, they've been showing a little more leniency due to a situation that happened with me. My top 4 match, if you guys remember, at OCIC. I've actually been told by multiple judges that created like an intense seminar moment where like they decided to make that like a teaching moment for judges to be like, this is why you should be lenient to players. Because they've been playing for like 2 straight days and these streamlights are unfamiliar for them. And I'm like, yeah, man, you fucking cost me an IC. You guys are ridiculous. This is the last top 8 match. Okay, let me look at results real quick. Looks like page is still refreshing for me. Give me a sec. Looks like Grant Manley and Azul both advanced. So 2 Charizards and 2 of their team is in the top 4. Coming back to their dominance. Azul's 3rd top 8 finish this season. Can Azul pick up a regional win? Or can Grant Manley pick up his first regional win, leaving me in the dust? Leaving me as probably one of the most accomplished players without a regional win. It was me, Szymanski, and Grant as the 3 players that had like the most top 8s with no win. and then Alex Shumensky ended up winning UIC, so I've been left behind. Um, and then it's G Hayes who beat Cal Connor. And then if Hale wins here, then Grant has a free path because Grant hits Hale, which is just an auto win, right? Like am I bugging? Like you just win with Tina, right? Grant isn't beating his soul. I mean, it's literally 60 card mirror, so it's like anything could happen between them. It's literally 60 card mirror. Nothing changes. Like both players are just playing the exact same deck. It's just like who gets luckier. Um, is Palkia good into Zard? I think it's probably fine. It's probably fine. Palkia's probably fine into Zard. I feel like Zard is slightly favored. But I think Joey, like, yeah, I think Zard was just a very consistent standard play. Like, I just don't think it was like a bad play. Like, I would have played Zard if I went this weekend too with Justified Gloves. And like, it's as simple as that. Like, you get your matchup lottery, you play your deck properly, you end up in situations that you want to be in, and Zard is just a very powerful deck. Like, I was talking to Grant at the end of last format in Toronto, and while we were in Toronto and just talking, Grant told me, that their group spreadsheet had told them that Zard was like one of the best decks for like the whole format, and they just didn't believe in it because they never gave it a chance to play it. And after playing the deck in testing, Grant said he pushed like aggressively hard for it within their own group to just say like prove that like this deck actually has some merit. And as soon as he was able to prove that it has merit, they've just been playing Zard because they really like Zard. So I don't know if they'll stick with Zard for Portland, but like I wouldn't say easier just because Guardy has a lot of like if you just set up and roll the board, you roll the board pretty easily. And then when you roll the board, it gets pretty like it makes a lot of sense to just kind of like it's just discarding cards, and a lot of the time Guardy just discards energy, and you just get into a flow where it's like super easy discards a lot of the time with your game plan. And then with Zard, I think the difficult part of the game is establishing a board state where over multiple turns you you have to use your Pidgeots effectively. And sometimes like with Zard also you have to just kind of like clench your butt cheeks and just be like, hey man, like this was really cool. This is like a really cool interaction, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and just like set up two Zards and hope for the best. Like that happens quite a bit where you just put two Zards into play and you're like, I really hope this wins the game for me. And sometimes it will and sometimes it won't. Let's see if my father texted me. Like their group has been consistently having a very good season. I think quietly, people haven't really spoken about it too much, but Azul's been having a very quietly good season. Yeah. What does Defiance Vest do? I need to read that card too. Okay. Greninja's not really that good then. Here. Yeah, minus 40 if you're behind. Yeah. I don't like read any of the stall cards because like either your deck beats stall or it doesn't, so it's like not even worth like reading in my opinion. Like either you have answers into stall or you don't. And a lot of the time I don't. So I'm the kind of guy who's just like I'm gonna let someone else deal with stall for me, unless I'm going to Europe. There's Tomb. But it might be a little bit too late because Pidgeot's about to hit the board. This Mimikyu is going to put in work, dude. This Mimikyu is going to put in a lot of work. Yeah, you guys also play BO1, right? Like, isn't it like BO1, whatever? Dude, okay. Cash. This is like the funniest thing that has happened to me in a long time. And like you know these players better than I do. And so for me, this is so funny. I think it was Ryan Tan. I think that's his name. I might be getting it wrong or like a little bit wrong. Maybe second place finisher at Nats this year for you guys. He comes up to me, and he's just like, he's like, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I was like, "Yeah, what's up? Like everything okay?" And then he just goes, "How did this guy make top 8 world?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "The Singaporean player. How did he make it? This guy's dog shit at the game." And I was with Slutsky, and the two of us just lost our mind laughing because I was like, I didn't expect anyone in the world to come up and be like, "How did this guy make top 8? He sucks at Pokemon." And I was just like, "What?" Like I thought it was like something serious. He's like, "How did this guy make it?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Like he has enough match points? Like I don't know what the confusion is here." And then he was just like, "No, there's no confusion. He just sucks at Pokemon." And I was like, "What? What is happening?" Joey's board is set up pretty well. There's enough pressure that you can't go into like you can't go into like a Luxray anymore. I think if you're Hale, unless you can lock something in the active, because Joey can like basically one shot Luxray into one shot Pidgeot, and so putting all these prizes onto the board or whatever is a little bit annoying. But now you have Greninja. I guess you have to make a Greninja play with Vacuum if you can find those pieces. So like Rope plus I guess Greninja. I don't know. Like there's not enough energies either in the discard, which is really annoying for Joey, I guess. Rope Greninja, I guess it's the two cards you're going to grab here. Like, I think we have to manually power up a Greninja here at some point. Like, I think Greninja is our best attacker. That's actually so funny. It's okay, man. I've played really badly before in my life, and I've won games. So, you know, skill doesn't equal player diff. Like, I don't even think we need a Greninja to draw cards here. I think you just attach... Like, the first energy can be attached to Greninja for the turn, I think. Or I guess you could just do it now. You can go ahead and vacuum the tool on the active. Put a lot of pressure on from Joey's side. We're going to go ahead and use Greninja ability here. Oh, okay, we're just going to do it this way. I don't know if I like that, necessarily. Because now you lose your one-shot kill button. Knockout here, and then 92 Pidgeot, yeah. Do we attach return already? I guess that makes sense, I guess. No, don't put the last ones next to each other, Joey. We've already had a couple of debacles here. People shuffling stuff into shuffling they shouldn't shuffle. So we're just gonna rod the Mimikyu back. That's pretty hype, honestly. We're in a good spot now. Mimikyu comes back. Now Greninja loses its kill button. This is why I didn't like what we did. Putting 2 energy on Greninja to replay the play seems way better. But now we can't even replay the play. Like now this Mimikyu has infinite value. Yeah, this Mimikyu just has infinite value now. Okay. My mom wants me to be ready in like an hour, so this game won't take that much longer. I can go finish this up and go shower and stuff. Hello, David the Goose. Hope you're having a good day. For those of you who can't see the chat, I am talking about YouTube and Twitch here. That being said, I am much more often on YouTube, so if you are coming in from Twitch, I don't stream very often, so I apologize. Like, this is like a one-time, not a one-time thing, but like a very few-time thing. But you will see me quite a bit on YouTube, pumping out YouTube videos, pumping out content. So if you guys want to learn Pokemon TCG from me there, subscribe and like for those videos. I would appreciate that a ton. That being said, there's not like a lot of like insane content I make. I don't like putting out like just mindless deck profiles or whatever. Like I like to actually put out what I consider to be substantial content. So if there's any topics or stuff you guys want me to talk about, like I like to just talk to my camera quite a bit and just like figure stuff out. So if there's any content that you guys want me to necessarily cover, I'm more than happy to do that. Like that's competitively viable, even if it gets less views in general or whatever. I like to shed light on competitive situations. stuff like it's how to earn money, how to like make the most out of your season, how to get to a Worlds invite, stuff like that. I want to make sure that people are better aware of those situations compared to the 60th Palkia deck profile that'll probably come out after this weekend. Is Snorlax stall broken? Should Snorlax be banned? Like, those videos will come out this weekend for sure. And I don't like disrespect any of the content creators who do that stuff. It's just not something that I want to do personally, because YouTube and Twitch are not monetarily like a job for me. It's not a job, so I don't want to make it a job. So that's my logic. Hope you guys understand. There's no more tools, by the way, for Hale, which is actually very impactful, because we're going to go ahead and counter catcher the Palkia. We're going to probably just Cheryl here. Actually very relevant that there's no more tools, because now this Greninja has infinite value. Clickbaity. I'm still going to clickbait the hell out of stuff. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I got to do it in a good way. Would you ever post coaching sessions? I think my client in particular would have to be okay with it. And I think coaching, people don't like, okay, this is like a weird thing. People don't like other people to know that they're getting coaching. I don't know if it's like a pride thing or whatever. And I wouldn't consider what I like, so if I have a question about a deck or something or a matchup and I'm not very like well versed in it, I just message like another top player that I'm friends with. And it's like the effect of getting free coaching, because I'm just asking him the questions and I'm skipping all the basic stuff. But there's a lot of players who don't know like a lot of the basic stuff or like need to improve on that. Like for example, a couple of my coaching clients this weekend, who I'm not going to name obviously, made their first day 2, which is what they were going for. Like they were literally going for their first day 2. We've been prepping for like a month, 2 months. It's like their first tournament of the season to come back into this situation. And they finally got themselves into a day 2 situation. So it's been like kind of kumbaya, kind of awesome about it for them. Awesome for me to watch as a coach. But most of the time, like, people just don't want people to know they're getting coaching, which is just so interesting to me. So I don't know if I'd ever post it personally. They would have to be like very okay with it, in my opinion. Like, people would have to be open to it. They'd have to be okay with it. And yeah. I think each individual coaching client is like different. So it's not like I approach things like in a one way vanilla way. I've heard, I'm not going to throw shade on some of these coaches' names, but I've heard from some people that they have paid $80 to like even like $70 to $100 for certain coaches, and they have not really fulfilled their needs in terms of like what they want to learn, which happens, right? Like, you don't always like mesh with your coach very well. But what I like to do as soon as I start a coaching session is, if it's my first time working together with someone, I like to just kind of be like, hey, nice to meet you. What's your experience with Pokemon? What's your favorite deck? What kind of decks do you like to play? And like, what are your goals? More importantly, like, what are your goals is like the first thing I always ask, so I get engaged for how people want to play. And I don't think like always just jumping into games against your coach is like the best thing. Like, even if like you and I are playing games and I'm telling you what to do, like, you're not learning anything. Like, I don't know, it just seems kind of grimy to me. Like, where it's like an easy way to burn 60 minutes off the clock and pick up money. I like to do sequencing coaching a lot more. Like, I like to do where like we go on to ladder. I watch you screen share with me, and a vast majority of the time I'm just kind of walking you through plays, or like I'll ask you like, do you think this plays better or this plays better, to keep like a level head on you as well during the process. What's happening? What's happening? dinner could work. I honestly, most of the time I just do Venmo or PayPal. People have been paying me goods and services, which has been really annoying, actually. I think a double prize penalty was issued for something. Wait, Joey won, so I guess a double prize penalty was issued for something. What's up, Mike? I assume either Hale double supported there, or it was a pace of play warning that escalated here. It's one of the two things. I assume pace of play is probably the most likely scenario that happened here. because I don't know if he double supported in that turn. But I feel like Hale's turns were taking quite longer compared to Joey's, where Joey was draw passing. Um, the random shuffle from the heavy ball could have also just been a DPL. Um, I think it had to be pace of play, man. Like, I don't, I don't think it was anything. I think it was pace of play for sure. Joey just needs to be ahead on prizes, yeah, to win now if time gets called. So Hale needs to actually actively adjust his strategy to attack, which he can do. He has to play like he played game one, I think, where he doesn't do any of these shenanigans anymore and just kind of goes in. Oh my god. I don't think we're getting the Pidgeot out this game, guys. Like, what do you even say? Like, what do you even say when you look at those prize cards, man? Like, on the bright side, whenever you Peonia, you've got a very good chance of finding a rare candy. However, the way the prizes are laid out, this could make for a very funny situation. It's crazy. They are like not in voice chat, but they can hear each other. Um, they can hear each other and the judges, and you can hear a little bit of the crowd. Like you can pick up a little bit. But obviously the crowd is not big enough at regionals to kind of make an impact. Like in my top 8 game against Jesse Parker, when Jesse drew, like when I put out my prize cards, I heard JW cheering very loudly, so I knew that I prized something important. And I did my first deck search, and I saw that Stone Joiner was not in the deck, and I was like, oh, okay. And then when Jesse started doing his generator, I think the first 2 cards were both lightnings, and I heard JW once again cheering incredibly loudly, and I was like, okay. And I literally like said something on stage where I was like, I think you hit some energies, and Jesse's like, I don't know, it could be a mystery. You can trash talk if it's a friend, but I would like never exceed like a line of like curse words or anything. Um, judges was like back in the day, judges used to be a lot less like strict about this stuff, but now Pokemon cares significantly more about making um, like judges care. He didn't hit the candy. This is so funny. It's actually so funny. All right, I'm going to Twitter first. You guys can't steal my clout. Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm literally fumbling. Someone's gonna steal my clout. I'm kidding. I just want to meme. I've decided that in like 90% of the time, I've like already accepted the fact that parents want to go airport at 7. Yeah, I don't think Hale was playing particularly slow. I think we have to rewatch the match and kind of see what was going on there. It might have been multiple pace of play warnings across the course of the tournament, which added up to that individual situation. I think that's like the only thing that I can think of in my mind. But Hale has to hope this little guy in the active spot lives as long as humanly possible. But we can see that Joey's hand is absolutely cracked at Fortnite, man. Like, what the bean? My clout. My yeah, I've already realized that like Pokemon probably won't like hire me to work as a caster or anything down the line. Um, because I think they've already like filled their quota of who they want, and if anything else comes about, like I don't know if that opportunity would present itself in a way where I am, um, No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I've already like put it in my mind where it's like even if I got offered a casting job, which I would love to do for Pokemon at some point in time, I think one of the biggest things is okay. So like given the people that given this year, before this year, I think people who were casters or existing casters were a lot more willing to help out and be kind of like friends, I guess. But given that the European casters, given the European casters have been um, added to the pool of casters, especially for worlds and ICs, I think that the job has become a lot more cutthroat because I think up until now a lot of the casters have been sitting on their laurels in NA. Like, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna point fingers at anybody. Wow, you just got the biggest bait of your life, big guy. You thought that this was the play, but it's not the play. Um, baited, baited. This Pidgey was the biggest bait of your life, man. But also we're just like winning this game. Surely he'll evolve the Pidgey. Um, no, but the big thing is I think the casters that exist now I think I remember like listening to a conversation between someone who asked another caster who I won't name like what it would take to get onto the casting desk, and the response that I got was I overheard, and the response was like, "Listen, man, like I'm sure you have like a lot of potential to do these things and want to be on the desk, but at this point, actively helping someone else is going to hurt my job." Because a lot of casters who have been getting worlds previous years are no longer getting them. Now you're adding this EU talent that's very hungry and willing, like the energy that Shay brings to the cast. Joe and Ross already are a dynamic duo. You have Alex Dow, Mike Ellis, these guys who are over there killing it in Europe, having their mini boot camps, prepping in very different ways. Whereas these NA casters pull up and they don't even know what half the decks do sometimes. Like it's like Crim's 2.0 sometimes, and it's like kind of embarrassing that we're at this position in our like casting career with the show being as big as it is. So I have a lot of choice words to say about like casters in particular, but obviously I don't want to burn any bridges. But right now, I think none of the casters want to help other people get a position because uh, their jobs are in jeopardy. Like a lot of people who like last year like were a lock for Japan may not be a lock this year for Hawaii. Um, and people last year who thought they were a lock for Japan didn't get Japan, and they were really sad. And like, it's no fault besides their own of not actually doing their job. You know, if that makes any sense. Like they didn't do their job. Joey does not need to do more than he's doing right now. He can just chill, man. You're up 2 prizes. You're winning. You're going to top 4. Um, like pack it up, big boy. Um, so um, all that considered, I have like a lot of choice words about the casting, and obviously, if I was to make a push, um, like if I make a push for uh, a position like that, I don't know if like it would fly if I was ever like, hey, I don't want to do ICs because I want to win an IC. Like I think going to ICs and Worlds is like some of the most prestigious things you can do, and like I don't know if it'll ever fly if I tell them I don't want to do these. I don't want to do this. Like, do you think they'd let me? Probably not. So, I think the only person that can do that is Azul if he ever gets asked to the cast, or Torrid I think if they ever get asked to cast. I know Aaron Zhang is allowed to do that, but no one else. He did burger completely through game 1. Joey did not play game 1 well, but I think he got bailed out in game 2 by the double prize penalty. Um, Not allowed to cast worlds from what I heard. I heard he was just not asked. So like it wasn't like a whatever. Like I think like Joe not being asked last year was pretty criminal. Like I chatted with him. Okay, we hit 4. Okay, there's a rope. That's actually pretty important. The other cards are like completely irrelevant. Yeah, from what I talked to Joe briefly, and Joe told me he wasn't asked to cast worlds, and he was pretty devastated about it. Um, so I mean, I think Joe has a vast amount of knowledge. Like I'll openly say that my top 3 casters that currently exist are uh, Joe, Bernard, Chip Ritchie, and Kyle Sablehouse. So I think those 3 bring a different dynamic to the table that the rest of the group doesn't bring. And it's just one of those things where if the rest of the cast could pick up their experience level to get there, like I have a lot to say about a lot of people. I mean, I haven't watched LAIC VODs yet, Bean, so I can't really I guess watch it. But I do like Shay's energy. Shay brings like a different dynamic to the table that I guess other casters don't, and I really like the energy that it brings. Um, Mike Ellis has been really good this year. His energy has been pretty dynamic. Rabioti has been really really good. Because I was rewatching Poland, and like last weekend I was watching, or not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago. Was it last weekend? Was that Stuttgart? Watching Rabioti cast was really good. Very impressed with his casting across the board. But I've been pleasantly surprised with like every single one of the EU casters. I think there are a couple of NA casters who are much more suited to be lounge analysts, where like their lounge presence or like their interview questions and like that stuff really good. They do a really good job of like captivating the audience and putting a lot of like they do a lot of good work there. But I don't think that they should be on the casting desk, is my professional opinion. And if like anyone else would come at me in chat and tell me that like I can't do the job that they do, if you ever want me to just sit down and like sit down with one other co-caster of your choice or multiple people across the board, I can do an absolutely fantastic job. Play-by-play or color, I can do what you need me to do. The only thing I'd have to learn is working with my co-caster without cutting them off. And I know that's something that I just have never developed as a skill because I've never worked in that role. But I think that I would vastly exceed a majority of the talent that we have today if I was given the opportunity. And that is a little bit of hubris. And I think I'm allowed to be cocky, right? Like I think I've earned my right to be that cocky in that regard. I mean, 7 minutes are going to fall off the clock here, and Joey's going to advance to the top cut or top four. I mean, I think Polgi is unfavored into Tina as well. So if I had someone who's like really good at prompting good questions and bringing good energy, I think I would be able to like really flourish too. Like if like I was left on analysis where I had someone who pops off. Yeah, and Puka and Kyle both are still very actively involved in the scene. Like Puka is always playing like online and like plays like tournaments sometimes. And Kyle Sablehouse plays like he played a regionals this year. He's actively involved. Like Kyle is always texting me all the time. Yeah, I think Tina's gonna take this one. Because I think Tina's gonna go into finals, and then I think Tina's going to go into finals over Joey. Because I think we've noticed that Joey plays like heavy vacuum, but less ways to deal with path in general. So I think his deck will struggle, especially when Tina can get to those path rock sand countercatcher turns, because Joey's going to have to load his board with energy, and if he doesn't do that properly, then he's going to get stuck in some situations. And then bracket is Azul Grant next, yeah. So I think that Azul Grant's list is very like straightforward and staple, but Charizard is unfavored into Giratina. Like on paper, Charizard is unfavored into Giratina. So if the Giratina player actually sets up properly, then it should be a game. But Giratina is either a tier 0 or a tier 7 deck. So I think that my odds-on favorite in this top 4 to win is Grant Hayes. I think Grant Hayes has the best win percentage in this top cut. 3 Stadium, 2 Vac. That's still fine. I mean, I would have played Zard this weekend because I think Zard had the best matchup spread across the board with everything. Interesting to see how that'll change, obviously, coming up soon. Bro, put the PAL in the active. You can't Melanie to the PAL. Joey is playing so fast. Like, Joey's pace of play is actually ridiculous for this game 3. Yeah, I think Joey's definitely excited because he's like one prize left. Oh, did Joey get a DPL? Joey did get a DPL, man. What did he do? Oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat something. I'm gonna snack before I leave for the airport. I think Joey is unironically trying to take his 6 prizes, but you just like do not need to do that right now. Like it is not that serious, man. Escape rope. That's game. Vacuum. So he didn't even beat Stall for Stall reasons. He beat Stall like in a fair and square game 3, which I'm actually very impressed with Joey for. Um, huge props to Joey. I mean, Hale. I don't even know what the pace of play thing for Hale on game 2. I feel like was pretty unwarranted, but also I think Hale could have played it a little bit better in general. And then game 1, obviously, I think Joey played like a little bit. He fumbled it a little bit. That energy switch play that Leon mentioned in the chat, like is a huge. Is it fair if there are no candy? Hey man, it happens. People prize sometimes. I have lost some top cuts in a very crucial way that hurts. So you know, this was a full 75 minutes, but there's no more Snorlax Stall left in the tournament. Snorlax Stall has been felled in top 8. So our bracket moves on to. Our bracket will now become. I believe it'll be Joey Nawal up against Grant Hayes, and then we'll have Grant Manley up against Azul Garcia. The Grants are back. I mean, I don't think there's much you can do, right? Like, I think Hale's just going to kind of be like, cool. I think the one thing that will haunt Hale more than likely is the fact that he got a DPL to lose game 2 more than anything. Like, I think that'll be the moment where, like, it will haunt him more than anything. All Grant finals, I would love to see that. I think Grant, I think Mike had a tweet earlier today that was about rooting for Grant. And I'm also rooting for Grant personally because going into the post-COVID season, there are like 5 players, I think, that had the most top 8s with no regional win or like a major win. And it was me, Grant Manley, Alex Szymanski, Isaiah Bradner, and John Eng, I believe. And I think G Shen is like getting quickly added to that list. So like Grant Shen is getting added to that list. Reagan was getting up on that list, but then he won a major immediately. So that guy's a little op for winning. But now it's like Alex got his win last year, which was huge to watch. Like I didn't get my win last year, but I got like damn close. Like Grant and I both had amazing seasons. Like all 3 of the people who, like me, Grant, and Alex being considered 3 of like the best players of all time, or not all time, but with best players in Pokemon without a regional or a major win, and all 3 of us picking up an international trophy last year. There's something to be said about that, right? Like there's something to be said about our caliber to be able to do that and multiple top 8s in a season. So I would love nothing more than to see Grant get removed from this list. Like I would love to see Grant win a major so he can get that monkey off his back. I think Grant is one of the best players in general. I like love like working with Grant and talking to Grant in general. So like, I would love to see Grant win this one. If Azul wins and goes to finals again, like, I mean, I love Azul also, and he's like literally like got so many accomplishments, man. Like let Grant have one. So in Salt Lake last year, this is like a last funny story before I dip. We were in Salt Lake last year, and we were just joking around, having a good time. It was when I played Tina, and I did not really know what my deck did, so I kind of like threw, like I Giga Turbo through all my games. But it was we ran into Azul's group at dinner at this like food hall, so we all sat together because like we're all friends. It's just like we don't interact like on a day-to-day basis. It's just if we see each other, we'll hang out. Or, like I talked to Grant quite a bit in person. And so I remember we were just sitting and talking, and Grant said something like, hurry up and win. And I was like, you hurry up and win. And then as well as like, while I'm still playing the game, neither, like, I'm only going to keep playing the game to stop the 2 of you from winning a major. And I was like, dude, please, man. And you might think he's joking, but this guy has been the bane in our existence. So it's just kind of funny. So that is the top 8. Top 4 is going to be kicking off soon. If there is, if you guys are watching for the first time, I don't really stream on Twitch, so you can catch me on YouTube more often than not. I'm going to be dual streaming if I ever do stream. So if I do end up like streaming, it'll be like you will see all of me. Like you'll see me on YouTube and Twitch, so you can come over and join wherever you want to join. But all that being said, that is the end of this stream. I'm gonna go off. I have to go get ready. I'm leaving for India tonight with my family. By that I mean like 30 minutes. We're leaving for the airport, so I want to get something to eat real quick and then get a shower in before I have to leave for the airport. Thank you all for coming out. It's a lot of fun doing this. I'll be at almost every regional remaining, so I don't think I'll be able to do this as often as I'd like. But I will be doing Indianapolis from here because I won't be at Indianapolis. But everything else, you will see me at the Pokemon Regionals competing. Maybe not Vancouver, actually. I haven't booked Vancouver, and I don't really want to. But yes, see you guys. Check out my YouTube videos. Watch those while I'm gone for the next 2 weeks. I would appreciate it a ton if you gave me some feedback and other ideas that I could record and get for you guys done. So peace out and enjoy the rest of top 4 and finals. Hopefully